What's going on YouTube? Hope everyone's doing pretty well here. I know it's been a little while since I posted a video, but today is it's pretty exciting. I've got something cool to share. If you happen to come across this video and it's your first time here, welcome to the channel. Hopefully in the near future I'll continue to upload some more consistent content when it comes to box breaks, sports cards. But you know, it depends if the sport card market starts to lose its a bit of craziness here. But anyways, with all that said, if you remember my last video, I had I talked about sending in my first sports card submission. So that's what we will be discussing today. Now, I got this back a little bit ago. I submitted two different submissions all together. One was, you know, kind of a bulk sports submission, and the other one was part of the voucher. So I'll get into the details once I go through all the cards and showcase how the grades come back as. But for now, I'll go through each one and we can look through them together. We'll do it in the reverse order that I submitted. So it'll be, you know, I wouldn't say worst to best, but I'll save the best for last. But we'll get right into it here. So the first card here, I got this in a trade with Far North Hobby. How you doing, bud? So this one, die cuts are pretty hard to grade. I know going into it, it wasn't going to get a 10, right? Just because you can tell a little bit it's off-centered a little bit here. But, you know, it's a die cut, it's a Jackson. I loved it. It's a short print under 35. So that one got a 9. Very happy with that one. And I want to say most of these cards that I submitted are almost all PC cards, right? So I wasn't, you know, I wasn't going to be too upset if I didn't get a 10 on each and every single one of them. And that's pretty, you know, that's not a likely scenario in most cases anyway. So another one, the tricolor prism. I also got this one in the same trade with Far North Hobby. And don't forget, I didn't forget about you, bud. So don't worry, that card, I got a bug Panini on that redemption. It's been sitting there. I don't know where it is. It's in freaking limbo. But that still yours. Don't worry about that, buddy. So this one got a 10, and I was really happy about that one. It looks phenomenal. Right? It's out in $1.99. Beauty card. This one, I pulled myself in that Luminance box, right? So this is J.K. Dobbins. A 10 in this one. Very, very nice one, right? Sharp corners, everything looks good. Very nice looking card. Now this next one is a bit of a, I mean, the grade is not that great in my opinion, but you know, I knew going in, if you watch the video when I pulled this myself. When you watch the video, I already pointed it out. There was like a little something. There's like a scuff or something like that. And, you know, the chances are when he signed this, when Kyler signed this card, because it's an on-card auto, right? So when he signed this, most likely he probably dinged it or something like that. Because I saw another 8 that was on eBay, I think it was, and it had a similar little scuff too. So he must have been wearing like a ring or something like that when he signed it. Just, you know, just dinged the card a little bit, and that knocked the grade off, right? So, but I mean, this card's fantastic, right? On card auto. So, and then we got a Gem Mint 10 of Miles Boykin. Rated rookie, canvas rated rookie. I didn't submit. I had the rated rookie, optic rated rookie. I didn't submit that. I will do that probably in the next round if I so choose. I was thinking about it, but you know, with PSA currently not doing any submissions, that we'll have to wait. So I do have a bunch of other stuff that's sitting there right now. So I'll get into that again later too, but. And again, another die cut. This one came back as a 9, so I pulled this one too. Justice Hill rookie card from this is from the Chronicles set. So I like the look of this card quite a bit. You know, I wanted to get a couple Justice Hill ones that I pulled myself graded, and I knew that, you know, the die cuts weren't going to come back 10. They never do. I think it's very, very rare that they come back 10s. So, but this one 9, very happy with that one. This one I was really, really pumped about, right? So I didn't do a video of this one but I talked about it before, and it was part of a fantastic, that box was insane. It was a part of a fantastic absolute hobby box, and I got this Justice Hill out of 25 auto, and I also got the 1 of 1 Marquise Brown. And I didn't submit it just because I know it's a 1 of 1. It doesn't matter. It's going to be a pop 1 regardless. When a pop 1 population 1 in terms of the PSA database, so you know, it doesn't really matter, right? But this one I was really happy to get that. It didn't get a 10 because I know I think there was something wrong on the surface somewhere. I can't remember where it was exactly, but right in the back there was something. There was a little nick or something somewhere. But yeah, didn't get the 10, but you know, I'm okay with that. Now this was, again, I pulled this one in one of my videos too, one of those, the Optic, Donruss Optic Mega Box, right? So now he doesn't play for the Ravens anymore, but you know, so I'll probably sell it, to be honest, just because I don't, you know, I want to keep active players that kind of play still. But I actually don't know. He was the same draft class as Jackson's. Maybe I'll just keep him. I don't know. It's a sweet card. It's a hollow. I love the hollow look on these Optic rated rookies too. So we'll see. This one I submitted just because I didn't really have many Mark Andrew cards, and you know, I pulled it myself. It was off center, so that's why I didn't get it. You can tell right away, right? Top to bottom, a little bit left to right too. Oh, sorry, right to left. So I wanted to get it graded anyway. Nice card. Now this next one, Jalen Ferguson, is a Fireburst parallel that I pulled, and you know, I was worried at first when I submitted it. It came back as a 10, so you can see it was like a great looking card. When I mean I pulled it straight to sleeve, so I knew it was great. But when I was worried about this print line, right? So sometimes PSA dings you on printing errors, sometimes they don't, right? So this happens to be, I think it happens to be on most of his cards, I think all of his cards actually. So I saw another Fireburst parallel that had the same exact line too. So, you know, definitely a printing error, factory printing error. So no issues there. Gem Mint 10, very nice looking card. And we got this Panini Chronicles Vertex Gem Mint 10, Marquise Brown. This card is awesome. Right? I love the texture on this card too. And a Gem Mint 10 Kaboom, Marquise Brown rookie. Such a nice card. You know, these Kabooms, like, if you can get them in pristine condition, like, I mean, there's a lot of hollow on this card, right? So it's prone to the little bit of scratching here and there, right? So, you know, if you get some of this stuff, you gotta, or if you pull it yourself, you really gotta sleeve it right away and just keep it in there. Otherwise, if you handle it too much, you're probably gonna scuff it up a little bit, and that'll prevent it from getting a 10. Now, it's interesting because I bought this card. I didn't pull it. I bought this card on, I think it's on eBay. Bought it for like 20 bucks, I think it was, 25 bucks, a while back. Of course, before the whole boom, right? So I wanted to submit this guy because I did submit the Lamar Jackson Kaboom that I also have too. So I'll get to that in a bit. But this one, very happy with that one, getting back a 10. This one came back a 9. I don't know if, I think I also saw something on it. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was so long ago because I submitted these back in, oh man, mid-August is when I shipped it, August 11th. PSA didn't get it until August 14th. It took a few days to get there. They didn't enter this until September, I think September 11th, I think is the date that they entered it into their systems for grading or research and ID or something, right? And then finally it got moving in early March, and I got it back late March sometime. So it was good. I don't totally remember what happened. I forgot I gotta look at my notes here, but no, it's good. I mean, it's a great card. I think the reason why is probably just it's a thicker card too, right? So anytime you can see these cases are pretty thick here. I'll show you the Kaboom case too. I forgot to show you that. So they're thick cards. the cases end up being thicker too, right? So normally, like when I talked about the die cuts, they usually are, you know, prone to not getting 10 just because of the cut of the card itself. And these, you know, these thicker cards, they're also prone. Sometimes the edges are a little bit, you know, warped or whatever. Not edges, but like the corners are a little bit dinged or warped or whatever, because, you know, when people put them in sleeves or top loaders too tight of a top loader, they can kind of mess up a little bit too. So not terrible. I'm gonna keep that card anyways. It's not like it's going anywhere. This one I wanted to submit just because I wanted to see what it would come back as. You can tell right away it's not gonna gem, right? It's not gonna be a gem mint just because of this little print line here. And I wanted to see if they would kind of ignore that print line a little bit, but it is really prominent though. So an 8 is a bit. I think it's pretty fair. You know, I'm not gonna. When I saw it, I was like, yeah, like it wasn't gonna be great anyway. I knew that. So this one for sure, I'm probably gonna put it up for sale. Although, you know, maybe I'll wait to see if he does a little bit better this season. And now we get into the fun cards here. Or we're close to the, yeah, we'll get into the last 4 here, and I got a 3 card special there at the end. So this one, True Blue, 9. You know, I looked at it again. I'm like, I don't really know how I got a 9, except maybe the centering is a bit off, and you can tell by a little bit of the star here. But whatever, I pulled it myself. It was great. You know, a lot of these cards I did pull myself, so I'm happy about that. So, oh, it might have been this here. See one little missed corner there, but I like that card a lot. And I'm sure those of you who followed my videos remember this one. This one came back a 9, and I was like, I was so disappointed because I was really hoping this would come back at 10, because there isn't a 10. I don't actually. Maybe I'm wrong. I think there's like 1 in the whole database. There's like 1 or something like that. So this came back a 9, and you know, most likely it's the centering issue. You can see. Otherwise, I mean, the card is in fantastic shape. I didn't do anything with it except sleeve it, plop it in right away. So, you know, I might look at resubmitting it and getting a review, to be honest, because I think I gotta measure it out here, because so PSA grades it, you know, 60-40, right? Like within tolerance. If it's within tolerance, they'll be a little bit forgiving on that. So I might do a little bit of a review here and see if it's worth resubmitting to see if I can get that 10. You know, either you can do 2 things. You can either crack it, you know, and I've cracked several PSA cases already, but you can crack it. You know, it's a little bit delicate. You gotta make sure you don't mess up the card too bad, or mess up the case too bad, so that it can cause damage on the card. But otherwise, you can submit it in the holder as is, send it in, then they'll kind of look at it again, make sure that, you know, they didn't miss something, right? Because at the end of the day, you know, they're all humans too, and sometimes they make mistakes, right? Stat line, Panini Donruss got a 10. This is great. Really like that. This one came back a 10. Another personal pull too, so fantastic. And then there was this card, a 10. This was the very first Lamar Jackson rookie that I pulled. Yeah, very first one of 2. one of two big ones that I was really hoping to get graded. So this one came back at 10. It's a bookend, $6.99 of $6.99, and I was so happy about this one. Super stoked to get this one back as a 10. I don't know where my stands went, but I'll leave that guy right there. Now, I had another 3 card submission. So my friend and I, we joined the gold membership at PSA, and it comes with 6 vouchers, which you can use. They're free vouchers, quote unquote free, and your card can have a value up to $499 US after grading, right? So, you know, I picked the 3 cards. I get 3, he got 3, and we picked the 3. I picked the 3 cards that I thought were the highest value that I wanted to get graded, and I submitted them. And those vouchers, because they're free, the PSA, you know, kind of doesn't prioritize them the same, right? So these took a little bit longer. I got these guys, this last submission, this one here was part of the value modern is what the tier was called, right? So that one took about, yeah, that one took from September through to March, and this one took a little bit longer, but I finally got it back. I got it back 2 days ago. So we'll get right into this one, and these ones are fantastic. I love them. First one here, a 10, Kaboom, Lamar Jackson rookie. I mean, look at this card. It's insane. So this one, I wish I could say I pulled it. I didn't pull it. I bought it, and for it to come back at 10, I'm just like, yes, that's awesome. And then the downtown Lamar Jackson also got a 10. And look at this card. Like, it is phenomenal. Right? So it doesn't, the one thing that I really wish they would have done was something similar to this, where they would have put the rookie card stamp on it. But I mean, it's a 2018, so everyone knows that's his rookie year. And then lastly, the rated rookie bronze that I pulled, and that got a juicy 10. Like, I mean, that, like, these three that I got 10s on, like, fantastic. I you know, I was over the moon to get those back as 10s, especially these, you know, those 4 guys right there. I know it's a bit off camera, but so one thing I wanted to, I didn't mention, so these 2 cards, if you follow values on eBay, like, they, you know, everything went up for sure, but, you know, this one and these 2, I got an email before they got shipped to me, before these got shipped back to me. I got an email saying that, oh, hey Mike, you need to pay more because you're getting upcharged because the value of these cards are no longer in the same tier. So I think the last one this sold, I think it sold for like 2K or more. And I think this one was around 1,300 or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, okay. if you're making me, you know, if you're making me pay more because the card is worth more, I mean, I guess it's not a bad thing, right? But yeah, I mean, it was I had to pay, what was the tier? The $50 tier was the regular tier rather than, because these fall under the economy tier, right? So so yeah, anyways, those are the submissions that came back. And I was very, very, very happy with them. You can tell, like, the value submission, like, they're all PSA cards. I mean, the gem, you know, people worry about the gem rate or whatever, right? So how many times you get gem min 10s in all your submissions. I mean, the value submission wasn't the greatest, but then I submitted cards I knew weren't going to be a 10, so like, that's okay, and they're all PC cards, right? But yeah, it was a great first experience, and I'll kind of detail for people like how that went and what the process was like. For those that don't know, I'm up in Canada, so it's a bit of a different process for us here, and added cost, that kind of stuff, right? So when we submitted, so I submitted, you know, I got the receipt here, you can see. So we submitted 3 orders, and we did 76 cards total, right? So you can see, like, they submitted, they got it September 11th. They entered it, they received 8/17, right? It was when they entered it into the system, when they started evaluating 9/11 here, right? So, so we packaged it all up, we sent it in, and then it was all right. It was a pretty easy process, to be honest. The one thing that kind of gets us here, because we're in Canada, is the insured shipping here. You can see, right? So I had to pay, you know, $46 for 6 cards to come back to Canada. I mean, you know, it is what it is. You know, too bad, right? And then of course I got upcharged on this, so the value was not just $46, right? But yeah, it was. I think if you submit, you know, a handful of cards, right? Like I'm not talking about just, you know, 5 or 6. I'm talking about like, you know, 20, 30 cards or whatever. You know, it's not bad. It makes the shipping worthwhile to do it that way in bulk, right? But if you submit like, you know, 3 or 4 cards, then the shipping gets pretty expensive, especially for up here in Canada. But, you know, overall it was a very smooth process. Once it got there, you know, you kind of forget about it, right? Like I sent it in. I was worried for like the 3 days it took to kind of get to PSA, and I sent it in overnight, or not overnight, but like expedited US service with UPS. And then it was, you know, in between that transit time, I was like, oh man, there's a lot of money in that box, right? You know, if you tally up the, you know, the value that you declare on PSA's package form, it's like, yeah, you're looking at like, you know, thousands of dollars, and it kind of gets you a little bit, your hands a little bit sweaty once you're waiting for that email to come through that says, you know, PSA has received your cards or received your package, and you don't have to worry about it, right? Yeah, but once it's there, you just kind of watch it like a hawk. But you know, I think if I were to do it again, and I did do it again, I submitted 3 different times actually, in between this first submission that I talked about and then up until now. You know, it's been an easier process every time, right? Like you kind of get familiar with how you need to pack your cards, you put it all together, you bundle it all up, and you know, it's great. But I after doing it, you know, 3 or 4 times, and each time I'm submitting even more cards than I did last time, and so it's more value each time I do it. I still, even if I overnight it, I still get a little bit antsy, and but you know, it's part of the thrill, part of the fun of submitting to PSA, right? So it's unfortunate that they closed down for now. I know it's temporary, but you know, it's what I think they project to be July 1st, I think is when they want to try to reopen again. But I think they're just going to be the same. There's going to be a flood of people just submitting anything and everything to PSA just to get graded, and you know, try to make a buck on graded cards. I mean, it's there, right? The sports card market is just, it's incredible lately, right? You know, things like a simple rookie card, like this Lamar Jackson. I thought about submitting it the first time, maybe not. But I mean, even this, I mean, it comes back at 10. If I were to sell it, you know, it's not a bad card to sell, right? But of course, I'm not going to submit it at like a regular $50 card service level. I would probably do it on the bulk at $10 or something, and you know, hopefully make like 20 bucks off it if I get a Gem Mint 10 on it. But again, I'm not in it for the money, right? But some people are, and I'm not that it's not a bad thing. I'm just saying some people are, and you know, they submit anything and everything, and then PSA just totally overwhelmed, right? Like when we first submitted this, the turnaround time at that time was expected to be like 3 months, right? For a, you know, a value modern, right? Value modern. These were $10 a card, right? These economy ones, the 20-day, I think it's 20 or 25-day service level. So these ones were, you know, were expected to be, you know, 2 months or a month, I should say, right? A month. And you know, it took like 8 months and 9 months to get these back, right? So you know, they just got completely overwhelmed, right? And I can't see it changing, even if they start up again, unless they keep prices the way they are. And the prices for each value or each tier is you know, it's pretty crazy, right? But it's worth it, like in a business sense, right? If you have a ton of demand for graded cards, graded stuff, why wouldn't you raise your prices? If people still submit, you know, why wouldn't you do it? And then like the group submissions, like, you know, if PSA is giving group rates out that are very, very favorable, well, guess what? You know, like if you have a trusted middleman that you can send all your cards to, like, you know, if you're sending 4, right, do a group submission. You know, that's what I would recommend, right? If you're sending 4, just do a group submission. Why do you have to send it yourself and risk all that stuff, right? So, you know, it's easier if you submit it with somebody else, and then you can have them do overnight shipping or whatever, like 1-day shipping. Less transit time, the better. That's you know, that's my motto. But yeah, if you know, you submit it all together, and then that they might get favorable turnaround times too, right? Like, but you know, overall, I don't, yeah, once it opens up again, I have a bunch of stuff I probably would still want to submit to, right? So my friend and I, we, managed to open up a couple new boxes that he was able to find, some Prism, some Optic, Donruss Optic. So I have a couple cards that I want to submit as well too. He ended up giving me a pretty sweet card too. Showcase some of my upcoming submission plans anyway. I got a Devin Duvernay Mosaic rookie hollow, right? So that's pretty cool of him to do. So he gave me that one, and then I also pulled this one out of the box that he gave me, a Patrick Queen blue scope, I think it's called, right? Donruss Optic, not a rated rookie, but a rookie, right? So that's cool. And I was hoping to pick up the 20, I think it's 2020. Jackson is another downtown. And that one looks really good. It's a horizontal one, but I think it's a horizontal one. I want to pick that one up too. So, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I didn't really quite do a walkthrough per se. I was thinking about doing one for all the Canadians up here if they're interested to see what it's like to submit and the cost to submit overall. I can kind of talk about it generally right now if you're interested to hear that. So it's when I submitted everything together in this first submission, the total cost to send it down there was, I think, $65 Canadian for me and my friend, $65 or $70, something like that, and that was it. I only had to I only had to pay that much to send an entire box worth of 76 cards down there, and then so as you can imagine, it's less than $1 a card at that price to send it down there. Then these came back. So this bulk submission was $10 a card, right? $10 US a card, with I think the insured shipping came close to like $60, I think it was US, right? So factor that in, an extra $1 give or take. Extra $2 give or take, US on top. So it's $12 per card for this bulk. And then these ones, only the insured shipping plus the upcharge that I got here. Overall, when I calculated it out, it was about $13 Canadian, give or take, given the foreign exchange rate. So that was, $13-14 a card, right? So it's not terrible, right? And you throw in shipping an extra $1 or $2, right? So all in, $15-16, right, per card at the value submission. That was previous pricing too, I should say. So now you're looking at a little bit more expensive, but if the shipping is a concern, you really got to stockpile a bunch of stuff. And if you really want to submit it yourself, you gotta know that it's not worth submitting just a handful. You really got to do like a bunch, like 20 card plus or something like that. Then it makes it worth it, because you don't feel so bad paying a little bit extra on shipping to get it there faster into PSA's hands. And then once it's there, you really don't have anything to worry about. And the only thing you worry about is if you get that email coming back for an upcharge. But you should be happy with something like that. But anyways, so that said, it's not as crazy a price for Canadians to submit a card to PSA for grading. That's for sure. It depends on what you do, what service level, obviously, and how fast you want it to get it back. But if time is no object, then submit it, forget about it, get a nice card back and not have to pay too much more than you thought, right? So anyways, hope you enjoyed that. I know it's been a little bit long-winded near the end here, but I really was excited to talk about my first experience with PSA and how it went. So I'll showcase more when I get the other cards back. I think so. I have about another 50 cards that I submitted that got entered in early March, and then another one that I submitted that was about another 30 cards. So that one's sitting there, probably not going to be back for another 6 months at least or something. But in between that time, hopefully I'll just get the channel up and running again and open some cards for everyone to watch too. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking around. Hope you enjoyed seeing the cards here. And if you are submitting your PSA submission, best of luck to you to get your cards back. If you're waiting for PSA to submit again, to open up so you can submit, hopefully you can stockpile some really nice gems in the meantime, right? Thanks again. Stay safe, everyone.